Hi, this is Kate. Welcome to Messages of Love 711. I actually wanted to do a new spread today. I like to do spreads for myself and make new spreads and just kind of play around with the formats and feeling the energies and feeling how they feel to me. And if I get to the point where I think it might be beneficial to someone else, I love to share. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I call this the cornerstone spread. What we'll do is we'll have 4 piles. First one is going to be 1, and it's about the self. And then the second one's going to be 2, and that's about union and partnership. And then 3 is when you start to branch out, you have more than 2 people, and that's about community and our workplace. And then we have 4, which is home and family. So it's about the stable life, the 4 walls, stability. So we're going to be doing the 4 piles, and then we'll have a pile in the middle that, and those are the cornerstones, and the one in the middle is more of the heart of the reading, the energy that seeps into each of the other areas of your life. It's the commonality that you carry in all aspects of your life. So we're going to be doing that, and we'll be doing 4 cards within each of these areas, and then the middle will be the one connecting all of them. I do want to say before we go any further is that I was doing some pendulum dowsing yesterday, and a message came through that was speaking of the quantum you. Quantum you. And that was the only thing that my team said to me in the moment, and I had to do some reflecting on it. And the things, as I was journaling, the things that came through for me were, I know when I began my spiritual path a few years ago, it really started out by me asking, who am I? What am I doing here? What's my mission? What's my purpose? I know this life isn't all there is. What's going on, and why am I here, and how am I involved, right? So looking at the quantum aspects of you, if this resonates with you, awesome. Maybe you're there, you've done it, you've asked those questions. If you haven't, maybe this is a really opportune time for you, or maybe you're feeling the energies in a way that's actually pushing you or pulling you towards this frame of thinking about, bigger than just 3D, what's going on in, the daily goings on in our lives, but literally pulling back and looking in a more of an observer mode at what's going on, who are all the players, what are their roles, what is the purpose, and then going even further into the quantum and understanding and knowing you more, right? You, your quantum you, your higher self, your oversoul, whatever you want to call it. But I felt the need to get that message out to you guys today. So if it resonates, awesome. If it doesn't, it may soon. It may soon. These energies have a beautiful way of being presented to us in the time that we are ready for them. So without further ado, I'm excited to present to you Cornerstone. So I've not seen this done anywhere else. It just came to me. These are just creative little blips and ideas that I get. Oh, I'd like to see what that does, or what that looks like, or what that reveals to me with the energies, right, of the cards. So I have obviously, like always, done some pre-shuffling, but it just, I don't know, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy to continue to shuffle sometimes. All right, so we're going to start. Okay, so the first card I'm going to lay down in each area. So the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. Remember, 1 is self, 2 is union or partnership, 3 is like community or work, and then 4 is going to be home and family is how I have it structured. So each of those piles are going to have 4 cards, and the first card that's going to be in each of those areas is going to be setting the stage. That's what I call it, kind of showing us what's going on, what's the topic, what's the theme that we're looking at in that area of our life. So what can happen here is that it can either all resonate, all these areas. Or equally likely is that maybe one or might resonate, or a couple, but not all. So either all or not all will resonate with you, but that's fine. You just take what you need from here, right? That's the point of finding resonance with something. If it feels good, if it feels right, if you're pulled to it, then probably there's something there for you. And if it doesn't, or not all of it does, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. That's fine. Okay, so for the first part, we're going to do, what I think I'll do is I'll start with the cards faced up, right? And so for the self, we have treasures hidden in the shadows. Is for our first card, right? For our foundation, setting the stage. And for union, partnership, we have balancing act, okay? And for the card for community and work, we have meditation and stillness. And for our final, we have our final, which is family home life, is new beginnings. Cool. Okay. So then what we're going to pull will be the dominant energy in each of these areas, the dominant energy for each of these areas. And I'll say dominant current energy in each of these areas. That's more accurate here. Dominant current energy. And I'm just going to do nice shuffle here. Okay. And it doesn't have to mean that it's the entire energy, but it's the one that maybe is dominant at this time, at this moment. Okay, so we're going to do dominant energy. So, okay, so for self, we have treasures hidden in the shadows. And what we're going to do is we're going to place the cards face down. I'm just going to get the cards laid out, and then I'll go through each category. Okay, and then the third card that we have for each of these areas. Beep, 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 beep. That was a very poor shuffle. But like I said, they're all pre-shuffled anyway. Maybe I shouldn't have shuffled. Okay, what is coming up? Potentially what is coming up in this area of your life? What could be changing that you're not aware of? Okay, what could be changing that you are not aware of? Something coming up in each of these areas. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to lay this card down for each of these. Okay, and then we're going to do universal wisdom. So this is an advice card. Advice from the universe. It's always happy to help and speak to us when we ask, right? When we ask. Don't be hesitant to ask for help from the universe. They are always willing to assist us. Our teams. Excuse me. Okay. Just gonna lay these. Alright. Okay, so I'm just laying a card for each of these areas. 3 and pile 4. And then we're going to do the cornerstones. What we're going to do is, I already shuffled this too, but I always just feel better when I shuffle on video for some reason. Just for proof, I suppose. All right. So this is, like I said, so this is the beating heart. Well, that's who wanted to come out. Someone was speaking very loudly to us. Visions of life beyond death. Speaking of quantum self. And quantum you. That's so beautiful. Okay, there's a lot of so card 44, this number may or may not mean something to you. I've been seeing a lot of 4 lately. Okay, so there's a lot of activity happening above her, over her crown chakra, like the 8th. This just resides, the 8th chakra that's just above us, right? It's like our connection to the ether, the connection to the universe. And actually that's super relevant right now for what's going on with Lionsgate, with the peak of Lionsgate happening on 8/8. So visions of life beyond death. This might be more of a spiritual reading. We'll see. We'll get into it. Fill in the energies. Maybe we are pulling on the energies of Lionsgate, and that's why this comes up. But we'll see. We'll see how it all connects, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to first look at the first card that we have for the self. So this is the category about the self. And what we have is treasures hidden in the shadows. So this is a beautiful, as it speaks to... one, for me, what it's really calling out and saying, since it is related to the self, is about shadow work, which is also very big in this time and these energies that we are currently experiencing. And one, the biggest dominant message that comes to my mind is about when we go in and we do the inner work, there is the treasure in there. And the treasure in there is these understandings, the forgiveness that we can come to with ourselves and others for doing this work, for releasing what we have held up, energies that we may have blocked or kind of kept inside of us and not released. But when you do release it, there's treasures there for you. And that can look like many things. It can be a physical release. It can make you feel better physically. It can make you feel better emotionally. It can make you be quite frankly, a better person for and to other people, because you yourself are raising your vibration by doing this work, by doing the inner work, by addressing the shadow self, right? So there's treasures in that. And it's almost like, it really does kind of show that, where it's like out of the darkness comes this beautiful luminescent light, right? She's radiating. And it's like a healing, a coolness, a soft movement, right? And that's what that feels like to me. And there's wings in here, and it just like it gives me the idea of feeling lighter. A lot of times you do this work and it does make you feel lighter. It's amazing. Okay, so the next card we have is the dominant, no kidding, the dominant energy in this space, in this part of your life, if this resonates with you, is space. I love this. I love this because this is literally, for me, it speaks to, it could be literal space, like you are shutting your doors, going into hermit mode, whatever you need to do, finding space for you to do this work. Maybe you have been doing this work. Maybe you're being called to do this work, to give yourself space, or space. Like I literally think of like the darkness of space and just like the joy and the infiniteness of space, and infinity. It really makes me think of like the cosmos, and that space, and connecting with that space through and by giving yourself the space to do your inner work, to tap in to the ether, tap into your team, your guides, the universe, through meditation, through just changing your thought patterns, positive speaking, whatever, breath work, whatever it is that calls to you, you're engaging in that or being called to engage in it, and it requires you to have some maybe space to yourself, because literally this is space in the self category, and that's of benefit to you at this time, if that resonates for you. So the next thing is the card, it's what's potentially coming up, and this is the yang. This is action. This is the action energy. You have yin, which is the feminine and then the receiving, and you have yang, which is the masculine of the feminine masculine balance, yin and yang. And this is the literal act of, look at this. This looks like going in, doing the space, doing the shadow work, connecting to you, and enjoying what comes of this, the fruition of your labor, the fruits of your labor and the fruition of the work that you have put in. This is so beautiful. And this is one, and this is the one category, and this is the self, right? And this is new beginnings too. One is representative of new beginnings, right? Starting over. That's beautiful. Are you a new you? I feel like I'm a new me. So this is the card that we have, is the message from the universe, and it says, you are your greatest gift. Your life's journey is your masterpiece. Could that be any more beautiful to sum up the self? What a beautiful image too. I love the colors. I'm mesmerized by the space. Okay, so now we're going to look at union and partnership, right? So the first card we got here was dances on one foot. So this kind of reminds me of and it also says balancing act on here, and it kind of reminds me of, I'm feeling from this card that it could look like being graceful, right? It looks kind of like a ballet dancer, but I'm more getting the energy of like feeling like you have to hold back or strike a balance with something where not everything is as you would like it to be, and not everything is as your partner, your situation, your union, your spouse, whatever, the other person that you are dealing with. So neither of you maybe it's 100% exactly what you want. So there's a bit of balancing going on. It doesn't feel horrible. It just may, and it's very temporary. I do feel she's like already got her other foot starting to move, like movement. I do get movement forward on this. Like maybe you've been in a place where you're going through some things and you're trying to keep a balance, and maybe you just have a lot going on your plate. Maybe it's not necessarily between you and your partner. Maybe it's not strife or hardship or conflict. It could be, it definitely feels like there is some of that, but it's maybe more just you're just trying to keep the peace. Maybe if this other pile, if pile 1 resonated with you about the self, maybe it is you're creating this, you're needing to strike a balance because you're needing to work on you, and you're trying to keep a balance in your relationship while you're doing this, while maybe you're going through your spiritual awakening, or starting to evolve a lot more into what you want to be, or who you are, or who you think you want to be, that sort of thing. And you're finding that, okay, it's kind of delicate. I've always given 110% to this partnership, but now I need to pull back a little. I need to work on me, which is beautiful. Do it. It's definitely worth it. But this is just showing some energy of you're just having to strike a balance here. Okay, so the dominant energy that is surrounding this, the balancing act, is magic. Maybe you're getting some help from the universe, from your teams. I feel like this is beautiful. And that as you work on you, for especially if the first pile resonated with you, as you work on you, this energy starts to flow over into your union, to your partnership. And it feels like magic. It feels good. It feels divine, shall we say. So maybe that energy is feeling really good right now. What might be coming up that you are not aware of is we get the card flexible, and also we have 19, which breaks down to 10 to 1. Also with this pile, new beginnings. And actually this card is a 9, which is coming in tarot. You have your 9s, and then you get to your 10, which is starting over. 9 is the kind of the peak after you've been through, aces all the way to 9. The 9 is like coming to the end and letting go of something, and then 1 is starting over. So I feel like it doesn't have to be a breakup of relationship. Probably that doesn't resonate with everyone, but it certainly can be coming, especially if you're resonating with pile 1 and you're doing a lot of work on you. There's no way that does not impact your relationship because you come out a different person, or maybe your person. Maybe this is happening with them. Maybe this is more likely happening with you since you're being called to this reading. However, maybe it's also happening with both, and that's going to change the relationship dynamic. The energies are affecting you and therefore your relationship. So the card, this card is talking about being flexible, right? If there's a balancing act going on and things are changing, but there's magic, there's magic in the air, but maybe being flexible to the point of not strictly saying, hey, this is happening for me. I need you to just stand over there and wait while I have this life-changing magic happen in my life spiritually, or whatever, religiously, however you go through your awakening. But it's about maybe not putting up full boundaries and saying, hey, this is all about me in a relationship, but it's saying, maybe be flexible with your partnership at this time, knowing that you're going through these changes. Can make it very hard for somebody on the other side who's kind of, if they're not left out in the dark, maybe they're kind of curious, like, wow, you're going through all these changes. How does that affect us? Being flexible. And I'm also kind of getting the message here about communicating with your partnership about the things that are going on in your life and what you're becoming open to, and how you are opening up and reviewing yourself and seeing yourself in a new way, and how that's going to affect the relationship. Staying in communication about that. That's more the message I get with this, about being flexible. And it's interesting too, because this is a balancing act, and this is also very much a balancing act. She's on top of an egg, putting pressure on it, flipping her body over, but being delicate as not to break it. So maybe this is a delicate time in your relationship. Maybe this is a time when you want to keep things together. You don't want to rock the boat is what comes to mind. But just maintaining open and maybe sympathetic to what you're going through is very magical and special, but also being sympathetic to what those around you are feeling, especially in your closest relationships. Okay, so the advice card here from the universe is everything is as you've created. All you create offers you lessons in life. You set this life path up, right? This journey. You've chosen what you're going to be going through, for better or worse. It's always good for the soul, the things we choose to go through here in our human lives, and it can feel heavy when we're in the midst. Can't it? Oh, can't it? Okay, so what we're going to do now, we've done pile 1, which is self, pile 2, which is the union, partnership, and now we're going to do pile 3, which is more about community. We're starting to expand out from the 2 and go into more of a community aspect, and that can be reflected in the community, in your local community and the wider community, and if you have a community that you engage with online, it can also be like in a work environment especially. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at that first card, and we have 11 here. And we have meditation and stillness. I'm getting the feeling that maybe you're in a place where this is all feeling very interrelated. So actually, yes. So I'll get there. So I was going to talk about the center card, the beating heart of this. But what I'm going to say is about meditation and stillness. Stillness pops out to me in that if this is work related, and it says deep quiet. Maybe you're in a place where there's so much focus on you or your partnership or what's going on in life that is not necessarily directly related to career, that you're, I kind of feel, what comes to me is autopilot. Maybe you're putting your work or your engagement in the community on autopilot, and just kind of coasting through things as you go inside into this stillness, into this space that you needed for you. And as you come out on the other side, it's going to be, we don't know how it's going to be, right? This is what I should have said is, in this current moment, in this current energy, you're going through this, and maybe you're going to, on the other side, decide to stay, decide to leave, decide to, as you evolve and go through a spiritual awakening, and as your relationships, as a result of that, start to affect you in a good way. It's a good thing. Your work is also affected, right? How you feel about what you do may change in a big way. I used to work corporate, as an example. I used to be a project manager in aviation, and that was great. It was corporate, good money, good times, but it wasn't my life's calling, and it wasn't where my heart was. I did it as something I needed to do because it met a purpose, which was income to be able to support a family. So I received a message, a big kick in the rear from the universe that says, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. And I left that place of work and that line of work, and now run a farm and have a spiritual practice. But it's quite different, and all of that happened as I was going through my spiritual awakening. So maybe you will still love, or maybe you'll love more what you do currently as you evolve yourself, but maybe you won't. The idea is to stay open, but right now maybe there's a bit of a stillness in that energy, right? Pause. The current energy around this right now, speaking of which, mystery. So we just started saying, we just were saying that you don't know. You don't know if this still is, if this, what you're doing now is what you're going to want to do as you evolve, right? Maybe it's maybe having this impact on you and making you think about, well, what is it that my heart desires, that my soul is wanting to accomplish here during my lifetime here. So yeah, mystery card, it's up in the air, right? That's cute. I love it. All right, so now we're going to look at what's possibly coming up. Okay, a change in the wind. So yeah, maybe this change, this evolution of you is going to affect your life more, your community and career life more than you know. And I've been focusing on career, but also it can affect community. Maybe you're involved in activities or groups of people, and the way you feel about those things may change as you go inside and rediscover you, the quantum you, right? Your higher self. Maybe this awakening is going to bring in a change in the wind for you. And I feel like that's right around the corner for you. That's beautiful too. Change is good. Change is always good. Change is learning, wisdom, and growth. So your card for universal wisdom for this section for category 3, which is community and work, is oh yes, of course, time to do it differently. Go beyond what you have done before. Okay, so yeah, all the cards I love when they line up like this. It's so connected. It's so connected. We're so connected in, you know? It's really beautiful. It just blows my mind still sometimes. So yeah, you know, this change in you is probably, I would say, likely, very likely, the odds are you're going to look at things differently, and you're going to want to change things around you. Let go of the things that no longer serve your highest and greatest good, because that becomes like the filter, I think. And for me anyway, it did. It became the filter. Does this serve my highest and greatest good? And if I couldn't say yes, it should go. It had to go, right? So this is what this energy is saying. This is the universal advice, is time to do it differently. It doesn't mean I have to change it, let it go, but maybe do it differently. Maybe look at it differently. Maybe feel into it differently. But it could definitely mean, and it definitely looks like, changing up what you're doing and how you're doing it. So the last category that we have here this is home and family. So what we're going to look at here is the first card, Moon Maiden, New Beginnings. Is there something happening? Is there a change in the home or family life? Are you changing home? Is there something going on with a family member? Is there something happening with a child? Your child, a child around you? New beginnings. This is speaking to something coming up. And 5, okay, 5 is change. Something is changing in your home or family life. Maybe you're moving somewhere. And this is moon. Maybe you intuitively know that something's changing. It speaks to new beginnings, but there's a big moon in the picture, which moon is indicative of intuition. As a Cancer, I am ruled by the moon. Stop is the dominant energy surrounding this. Maybe this is similar to the energy of the meditation or space is pause, is what I'm trying to say. Pause whatever you're doing. Maybe it's a time for reflection. Maybe there's a caution. Maybe maybe something's impulsive. Maybe there's a red flag. Maybe there's something that you need to take a closer look at around your home or family life. Maybe you need to pause because somebody needs compassion and love and affection from you. Maybe you need to stop because you need to evaluate whether it's in your highest and greatest good. But this card, it's not negative because it's a big stop sign and a big X and it's red. It just means to be aware, right? To be on the lookout. So something that interesting here. So these are just so beautifully aligned. Each of these piles, I love this spread. So the thing going on here, the possible new energy coming into what's coming up in this area of your home family life, and it is all that glitters. So what follows all that glitters is not gold, right? So it speaks to, and I just read this the other day because I personally got this card in relation to something else, but So there's a possibility that there's a lot of options or more than one option or a primary dominant option that you're considering that with a new beginning, you're being asked to stop to consider any red flags related to what looks shiny and what's calling your attention. Pay very, very, very close attention. If you are looking for a home, making a large purchase around the home, doing a project, renovating, if somebody in your family is coming to you for help, or anything significant that you're feeling going on right now, do a quick gut check. Pause. Evaluate whether this is in your highest and greatest good. Is it what it seems to be? Because it might look shiny and beautiful, and look at this shiny object, it's so amazing, but is it everything that you think it is? Is it everything that you think it is? And with the wisdom of going into yourself and going through your spiritual awakening or this evolution of you, and using this filter of, is this in my highest and greatest good? That's useful in all areas of your life, but especially when you're being asked to take a look at what's going on. If there's contracts or legal documents involved in anything going on in your life, pay close attention to those things, right? It's beautiful. Miracles happen is the advice from the universe. Maybe you're being told that there's some new beginning coming up, and you're being asked to pause and take a look at it, and maybe not choose the obvious, quickest, easiest path that looks like too good to be true or perfect or looks golden, like a golden opportunity. The universe might be intervening. You have miracles happen. Give the universe your clear intention, right? When we set intentions, it's not about just throwing out there, yeah, I want, this. It's really, really being clear about what you want, and asking precisely for that thing, because the universe can deliver. But if we were vague about what we wanted, maybe the universe isn't so clear about what we want or how to deliver it to us. But there may come a time in the near future around family or home where there's some beautiful things that unfold that you didn't expect, and it probably wasn't the thing that you were planning on, right? The best laid plans. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this card in the middle, Visions of Life Beyond Death. I feel like this is your energy connecting into you, to the depth of you, the quantum you, which is clearly why I received this message yesterday. It was so beautiful to receive that message and to know that that's what's going to come into the reading today. First of all, congratulations to you for going down that path. That's beautiful when you start to look at things through this filter of, is it in my highest and greatest good? And to come into your awareness, to come into your knowing, to find your strength and self-worth, to do the shadow work, to release and forgive those around you, to let go of the things that aren't maybe right for your path, and to engage with the things that are right for your path, and to trust in your intuition. There's a reason you're going through this spiritual awakening. This is connecting you. This is your link to the ether. This is your link to the universe, to your spirit team. Whether you think you have one or not, you do. They're there with signs for you. Thank you so much for joining me today on this reading. I hope you liked it. If you did, please click like, consider subscribing. And if you want to get notifications, I'm doing readings periodically, more than one a week. It's more than I thought I would be doing, but I'm enjoying it so much. So anyway, thank you very much, and have a lovely weekend.